Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, April the 1st, 2024. And on the 1st, communication Mercury once again goes retrograde, as it does about 3 times a year for about 3 weeks. This Mercury in retrograde will be retrograding in the sign of Aries until April the 25th. Now, the do's and don'ts of Mercury in retrograde: you don't want to be making life-changing decisions. You don't want to be committing and making promises or signing contracts, mainly because you don't have all the information, and information could change, but then you're locked in to that expectation, that contract. The other big thing is next Monday, on April the 8th, will be a new moon solar eclipse. You don't want to make important life decisions the week before any new moon because the energy is winding down from the last new moon. But you also don't want to make important life decisions in the week before and the week after an eclipse. And Mercury is retrograde from April the 1st till April the 25th. So this is a week best to just reflect, do your due diligence, rest, revise and rethink any of your goals, all that Mercury and retrograde mantra. Let's start with each day. Not only is Mercury going retrograde on April the 1st, but the Capricorn moon will keep us more grounded. Capricorn is more realistic, more sensible. That's good. And because the moon represents more of the general public tone. But the moon will be in harmony with assertive Mars, ambitious Mars, late morning Pacific time. Now, you don't want to initiate any new projects, but this can give you the motivation to be wrapping up old projects. And one of the good things during Mercury in retrograde is about bringing closure, wrapping up matters, as opposed to starting new ones. On Tuesday, the moon continues in practical Capricorn, but it's going to be in harmony with progressive, innovative Uranus, mid to late morning Pacific time. This can be very favorable for thinking out of the box, trying new approaches. And with Mercury in retrograde, there's a lot of adjusting going on, and that Uranus can help you be more open to have a different perspective, look at things in a new way. On Wednesday, with the moon now in Aquarius, Aquarius is more progressive, innovative, a little bit quirky. That is because Uranus is ruled by the planet Uranus. But Venus, the planet of relationships and cooperation and creativity, Venus will be crossing over Neptune. This is a very romantic day, a highly creative day, especially as Venus will be in Pisces. And Pisces is the exalted sign for Venus, meaning Venus can give its best results. It's a very idealistic, romantic time. Thursday, as the moon continues in Aquarius, it's going to be in a hard angle to expansive Jupiter between 8-9 a.m. Pacific time. Now, Jupiter is this benefic, optimistic, generous energies, but when the emotional moon is in tension, we may be expecting too much. We may be having inflated expectations. So moderation will win the race, but if you have these big expectations, you may have to cut back, which is also part of the theme of Mercury in retrograde, having to revise, rethink. Early afternoon Pacific time, Now the moon is in a hard angle to rebellious, progressive Uranus. Now that could trigger unexpected emotional surprises, but it can be good for getting out of an old stuck routine. And then by 9 p.m. on Thursday, Pacific time, Venus, that's been for several weeks in sensitive, creative Pisces, is going into fiery Aries. So there's more of this wanting to taking chances, going for it, being more assertive, creatively, romantically. And that Venus in Aries will be there for several weeks. That's kind of a background theme. On Friday, now the moon is in sensitive Pisces, which begins at 4:13 a.m. Pacific time. By late evening Pacific time, the moon is going to catch up and cross over Mars, warrior Mars. Now it's a Friday evening. It's still early enough for people going out for dinners, for concerts, for dancing, and that moon Mars can trigger a lot of activity and passion and enthusiasm. If you're asleep, especially if you're on the east coast of the United States, especially in Europe, the moon Mars, if you're asleep, could bring in a lot of restlessness. Or you can't sleep and you're just out there keeping busy. On Saturday, the moon continues in sensitive Pisces. It's going to be in harmony with eclectic progressive Uranus, mid-afternoon Pacific time. You'd be more open to new ideas, new approaches, but you're in this Mercury in retrograde. You're right before the solar eclipse. You might be feeling emotionally really upbeat, but you don't want to be taking any action for anything new. And Venus, romantic Venus, creative Venus, pleasurable Venus, will be in harmony with powerful Pluto. Pluto, the planet of intensity. And so that Venus to Pluto, and it's Saturday, when a lot of people will go out and enjoy life, enjoy friends, go to parties. But that Venus positive with Pluto, there's a strong desire to have for a closer, more intimate connection. This could be if you've been dating, you might be feeling like it's going deeper, it's going to the next level. If you meet somebody new, you might be having a lot of strong feelings, but I wouldn't be making any decisions, and I would just wait and see where it goes, because Mercury's in retrograde and you're in the eclipse cycle, which is all this instability. On Sunday, now the moon goes into fiery assertive Aries at 4:25 a.m. Pacific time, and by 9 to 10 a.m., the moon, that moon, an independent fiery Aries, is going to cross over creative social Venus. So that moon to Venus is a strong desire for companionship, for enjoying life. As I said, if you feel this infatuation, especially if you thought you've met somebody on Saturday with that Venus-Pluto, again, just stay in the moment, enjoy it, enjoy the feelings. But with the retrograde and the eclipse, there's information you don't know. So you don't want to be, starting to feel attached to a romantic situation that may very well just fizzle out. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.